Players talk about their memories of Florida series, and it's a lot of, we remember getting beat. They want this year to be the year. What do you see, kind of?
You ask me what do I remember about the Florida series?
Actually, yeah. I'll ask it that way. When I say Florida, what do you think?
I mean, I just remember a lot of really good games in both places. My favorite game is when we against Florida, so we went to the regionals at Florida, and Kevin Howard's on first, and there's 2 outs in the last inning, and they play behind him, and Jim Burt hits the ball in the gap, and we score and win the game. That's my favorite game.
And how about his
Florida.
father? How about his father jumping over the fence or whatever?
Jim Burt Sr. jumping over the fence in left field and give me a bear hug. I thought I was about to have surgery. I crushed my ribs, but that's my favorite member of Florida, I guess. There, my favorite member here is David Bucksbaum getting a 2-run homer over the scoreboard to take us to the World Series.
What was that? David who?
David Bucksbaum in 1995 or something like that. I don't know exact year, shortly after I got here. And he hit the man on second where we're down by 1. You're thinking get your runner over. He's thinking hit it out of the ballpark, and he turns it to left field over the scoreboard, a 2-run homer to win the game. So that's 2 of the big plays I remember against Florida.
To bring you back to reality, recently, obviously, I know you won 1 last year, but you guys have 13. You lost 13 out of the last 14, and all that good stuff.
It's not good stuff, Susan.
I know.
Keep asking the question.
I know. But just.
Well, they've dominated us lately. They've really played well. It's been our toughest team to play against by far, and we haven't got it done against them. But they've had really good clubs, and Coach O'Sullivan's done a great job since he's been there. And he's had a lot of luck in keeping a lot of the pro guys that were drafted high, in particular the pitchers that stayed and went on to be very good players for them. So it's been tough for us, no question.
What do you see from them now? This team the little bit you've looked at them now.
Well, I mean, our team.
No,
their
team. Yeah.
Well, I mean, their team's and again a very solid club. They got some good young players, some athletic guys that are young, along with their other guys, and their pitching's always good. They always have good pitching. So their starters are always prototype guys, big guys that throw hard that are prototype guys.
Do you expect to keep the same pitching rotation, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yes. Yeah.
Any major lineup shifts that you plan throughout the series at this point? Or?
Not really. We're still kind of trying to get a feel for it. It's early and trying to see what the right fit is. I always think you practice, but once you turn the lights on, the games count, and it's a different deal. Then you see who can play when the lights come on at 7 o'clock, and it's just a different deal, and you got to get a feel early in the season and see how they play.
Some of the guys were talking about there's a little bit of pressing going on, especially for some of the younger hitters. How do you begin to work with them to kind of calm that down, especially when it's Florida coming in and they're probably the instinct is to continue pressing?
Well, I do feel like some of the guys are feeling pressure, particularly young guys, and that's just the way it is in Miami. It's the way it is every year with guys coming in here trying to win a spot, and when you're playing good people, and we play our complete schedule's good. I mean, our RPI is always tough, so it's a battle for those young guys to develop and try to relax and play the game, and that's what they have to do.
What about Zach at first? It seems like he's been struggling a little bit at first.
But he hasn't, he swung the bat. He was our best hitter in the fall. He just hadn't. This spring, he just hadn't played as well as he did, but he's a very talented player. He's going to be a good player. I mean, he just struggled a little bit. As far as defense at first base, he's not a natural position, so he's learning on the job playing.
What about the errors too? I know we talked about that yesterday, but the throwing errors, now that you're looking at film or whatever, yesterday that wacky play, why didn't he throw the ball to third, and just what's going on?
Well, I mean that was a mental mistake, on Kennedy's part. We should have made the run down to third base and made one throw and get him out.
Right.
No question about that. We didn't play it right. So it's a different play, and we're just trying to work through them, really. Trying to do whatever we can do in practice. And this team, and I said it last night, has worked as hard as any team since I've been here. So they're not working, and those type things. They're working every day to be the best player they can.
Speaking about Florida, they're not hitting outstanding as a team. They got two guys that are real hot right now. They haven't faced a lefty starter yet. You guys have obviously some good ones. Is that a big advantage? Does that not even matter at this point?
Well, I hope it's an advantage. I mean, our starting pitchers, no question, the strength of our team is our three starters. So hopefully we get good outings by all three guys, and that works out good for us.
Coach, obviously in the first series against Maine, I believe it was 27 strikeouts from the three starters. Is that something that you want to see more of this year, instead of the pitching to contact, being able to take matters into your own hands and get out sometimes, or is it just, hey, get them any way you can?
I don't think you ever try to press the issue and say, hey, we need to strike people out. If you do that, your pitcher's going to have problems. You just let them pitch their game, but all of them got good stuff. The strikeouts will come some days, and some days they won't, depending on the clubs. But Maine had a lot of left-handed hitters too, so that was a big advantage to have left-handed pitchers against them, and you're going to have more strikeouts.
And maybe the advantage that maybe your rotation will have against Florida. You mentioned the 3 straight years they were in the College World Series. Last year they're actually under 500, so they're kind of going through trying to find themselves reality this year as well. Are they maybe? Obviously they're still great, but are they a notch below maybe what they were a few years ago?
Well, I mean, I think time will tell. I want to see them play against them and see how they're doing. I haven't really seen them play, so I want to see how they do. But they're a good club, and they got some good young players along with the returning players for a fact.
Does it almost feel like the postseason this early? You got Florida and Florida State, and it's only been 4 games already.
I'd like to know who made this schedule up. No, we always have to play Florida early, so we always play them before the conference starts. And the fact that Florida State is a non-conference game this year, then the only time again to play them would be early. So at back-to-back weekends is I got to think our first 3 weeks of our schedule is as tough as anybody in the country.
But if you can win this series, at least take 2 out of 3, doesn't that? How good is that going into next week? The confidence-wise.
Of course, I mean every win is a confidence factor for our guys. But I'm thinking more about one game at a time at this point, like they say. But
right.
No question, our goal is to win the series.
Okay.
What about the bullpen right now? I know that you probably haven't even been able to get through all the guys you want to see and develop their roles, but what have you seen early on from them?
Well, I've seen a lot of guys, go and do different things. AJ is still our closer at this point, but Brian Garcia is coming in and throwing well with really good stuff, and Danny Garcia's got good stuff. He's coming in and throwing. Hammonds has shown some things. He did Sargent too good last night for an inning. But our bullpen, is development. It's a developing thing. It's just having your. I always say Charlie Holstaff, because at this point, I don't know who's going to be where and what role they're going to be in.
Lineup. Are you think you're going to keep the order, the same, the hitting order, or are you going to? I know sometimes you play around with that.
Well, I do early, particularly. It's going to be the same lineup this weekend. All 3 days for sure. It'll
Right.
be different. Just trying to figure out who we can get hot. Right now,
Yeah.
we're hitting 228 as a team. We talk about the defense, but we're not scoring any runs either. So we got to score more runs than one like we did last night.
The guys on top are doing a little better,
Yeah.
right? And then the
The
guys
guys in the middle's got to hit.
Yeah.
So we got to drive in some runs, and we're not doing that yet.